That's really helpful because not only for residential, but in the commercial space, especially with a lot of our multifamily, the most important thing for them is having occupancy, right? They always want to make sure they have occupancy. So if you're walking an apartment that has not a lot of trees, it's doesn't have a lot of shade, it doesn't look very appealing, but then across the street, you've got a beautiful property that's well maintained. Where are you really going to go? More than likely for me, I'd be like, oh, this one's prettier. I want to go. And I might spend the extra $50, right, to live there. So to your point, Patrick, I think it is so relevant. And I actually didn't know that on the residential side that it can be anywhere from 3 to 15%. So you talked about your love for kind of getting into this industry is because you grew up in Philadelphia, kind of the whole urban forestry. And so one of the things that I'm actually curious about as I've been in this industry is we hear that foot traffic actually increases in areas that there's trees and they'll spend more time there. So can you tell us a little bit about that and why people spend more time in areas that have trees?
Well, there's a couple reasons. Some are probably more subjective, and that, like you said, right? They're beautiful. You're just attracted to that, kind of environment, especially when you get into warm weather, seeking shade. I'm sure many of us have probably realized that walking around some of our, heavily urbanized areas where you see that people are starting to go to the other side of the street with shade. So that's one thing, of course. I think a big thing is.